Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Bong Joon-ho's brilliant film, Mickey 17, and what it means for Dungeons and Dragons. Because Dungeons and Dragons is going to change because of this film. So, Dungeons and Dragons is incredibly unique, right? And what we do with Dungeons and Dragons is really not understood. It's only been happening for 50 years. And the first 50 years of Dungeons and Dragons was activity, but maybe not progress, right? And now we're in the second 50 years, we're getting traction. We're no longer spinning the wheels with um, with Dungeons and Dragons, and we're actually figuring out how to use it, how to use Dungeons and Dragons to improve the people at the table, change the people at the table, transform the people at the table. Right? We're really starting to move forward with it. But what a Dragon Master does. So Dungeon Master creates the world. Dragon Master creates the player characters, right, and runs the player characters. Dungeon Master runs the world. Dragon Master runs the catalyst characters, the player characters of Dungeons and Dragons. And what Bong Joon-ho, and by the way, he has an Oscar, right? That's why this film is so important to Dungeons and Dragons, is he is dealing with extremely deep subjects, right? And he's asking the most critical question about Dungeons and Dragons. What are we doing with Dungeons and Dragons? And it's pretty profound. What we're doing with Dungeons and Dragons is extremely profound, right? So let's talk about it. So in the movie, by the way, I'm sorry, spoilers for Bong Joon-ho's 2025 Mickey 17 in this. By the way, 5 out of 5-star movie. You should definitely watch it. If you're a Dungeon Master, you have to watch it. It's required watching. You will not understand what is happening. And also, if you're a Dragon Master, it's required watching. You will absolutely not understand what's happening in Dungeons and Dragons without seeing this film. So, all right, let's talk. So, this film perfectly illustrates the types of identities that are at the table. Okay, for each person at the table, right? So you have 1 Dungeon Master, 5 Dragon Masters. And those 5 Dragon Masters, there's 3 separate identities, minimum, right? So let's get into that. Incredibly complex, all right? So the movie perfectly illustrates this. So what does the movie do to illustrate this? Well, let's talk about it. So the movie shows that there are humans, right? Humans would be Naja. Naja is she is a security captain who serves this religious expedition that's gone to populate this new planet, right? Then there are Expendables. Okay, now human, that's you, the player. Okay, at the Dungeons and Dragons table, that's you, the player. So let's say I'm playing in Sally's game, right? I am Scott Garibay, the human. Okay, now next, what is my next? What is the next type of identity? Okay, let's talk about an expendable. Okay, in the movie they talk about expendable. Mickey 17 is an expendable. Okay, an expendable at the Dungeons and Dragons table is Beryl the Turtle Wizard. So that is my turtle wizard who was born in Forgotten Realms and died in Forgotten Realms, right? And so, but when I'm playing him at the table, that is my expendable, right? A character that can die, right? Then there is also 1983 Saturday morning cartoon Scott Garibay. What? What are you talking about, Scott? Yeah, let's get into this. All right, so Hasbro is saying we want you to. So, in my humble opinion, all right, Hasbro is now encouraging people to abandon fun with Dungeons and Dragons and really get down to the nitty gritty and really do something special and unique with it. Now, how are they doing this? How are they encouraging you to abandon fun and to begin to use Dungeons and Dragons to improve, change, and transform? Well, they're saying skip the layer of imagination. Just, stop putting Beryl the Turtle Wizard into Dungeons and Dragons and start putting yourself into Dungeons and Dragons. We want you, when you play in the Forgotten Realms, we don't want you to play as Beryl the Turtle Wizard. We want you to play as Scott Garibay in the Forgotten Realms. Now, wait, what are you talking about, Scott? Why? When did they do this? Well, they recently, in the last 6 months, they released 3 free Dungeons and Dragons uh, um, adventures. Every single one of them includes pre-gens of the 1983 Saturday morning cartoons. Okay, uh, Eric and Hank, Bobby and Sheila, Presto and Diana. Right, and these are not, and that's the point. These aren't expendables. These are real players who got sucked into the realm of Dungeons and Dragons. Hank is not playing a crusader. He is a crusader, right? He is a kid from Ohio, right? And who played Dungeons and Dragons and then went into Dungeons and Dragons. So they're saying skip the middleman, right? We want you to create Scott Garibay, the hero of the Forgotten Realms. And not Scott Garibay like, oh, you're playing like it's. We want you to say, hey, what if I was taken to the realm of Dungeons and Dragons? And make Scott Garibay in that world, right? That's a multiple. That is dangerous, right? Wait, Scott, how is that dangerous? This is literally what Mad Mothers Against Dungeons and Dragons was talking about. They were like, we think people will be confused and that they might end up trying to project themselves into fantasy worlds, their real selves, right? So that there are multiple versions of their identity and they don't know what their memories in this world or what their memories in the IRL, they could start to get them confused, right? And they're absolutely right. They were right. This is outrageously dangerous, right? I will now have a set of memories, sensations, experiences, and emotions for Forgotten Realms Scott Garibay and for Earth, EARTH Scott Garibay. And I can have an OERTH, a Greyhawk Scott Garibay, and an Eberron Scott Garibay. Now you have multiples, right? So, and Bong Joon-ho perfectly illustrates this. He's like, what is the human? What is the expendable? What is the multiple? Let's explore all of this. And so when you look at Bong Joon-ho's brilliant Mickey 17, it really is about Dungeons and Dragons. And I believe that, and also, well, wait a second, did he write this specifically about Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, I believe he did, right? I absolutely do believe he did. Well, he didn't say that. Of course he didn't say that, right? Are you watching Severance right now? Like, this stuff is so layered, and the most important, most valuable stories that we're telling today are the ones where the creators are not telling you their source, right? They're like, oh, F you at the DVD extras. I don't want to explain this art to you. I want you to experience and explain it to the world. That is the most profound creation that we're seeing on the big and small screen today. So I believe that Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17 is really an exploration of identity at the Dungeons and Dragons table. Human, expendable, and multiple. Now that we understand that, we can start to talk about how that actually impacts how we play and how we move forward. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more, absolutely nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.